Making a lore video, it isn't easy. So how did I do it? Black magic! You have a story you want to tell, but it's stuck in your head and you don't know how to pull it out and put it into words. It's easier if you focus on writing down the most important moments first. In general, a lot of people get disoriented telling a story and lose sight of the end, continuing to write chapters after chapters without a goal in mind. So I always advise to actually start by writing the end. For a Vtuber lore video, it won't just be telling your story, it will also be setting a mood and branding you into people's minds so they want to watch and engage with you later. Ideally, the start needs to hook the viewer, the middle should have at least one moment of tension or conflict, and a good ending creates a lasting impact. I spent most of my time trying to get these right before I connected it all with a core story I wanted to tell, using humor strategically, not only to keep it fun, but to use the contrast to make the tense moments seem even more serious and epic. If you're going to give this work to someone, or even just for yourself, it may be helpful to make notes throughout the script about where the characters are, the tone of the dialogue, pauses, music, mood, sounds. You can even describe a little what will visually appear on screen and how. You can even look into how play scripts are done to help you a little with this. Now that the script is written, it is time to butcher it. No, we're not destroying it completely, we're just making some edits. Since I'd be the one doing most of the work, and at the time I was quite sick, I didn't want to overwhelm myself while still making sure I'd have a good final product. I really wanted it to be around 5 minutes, so I opted for making an animatic instead of a full-on animation. Which is still a lot of work, but realistically speaking, this was way more doable in my condition and with the time and resources I had. So I read and reread my story again and again, using a timer to keep track of how long my script took to voice act, while cutting anything that could be overloading the viewer with the necessary information and keeping it simple for anyone to understand and follow. There were a lot of things I really wanted to underline and tell my viewers, but not everything needs to be spoon-fed, and it can be shown in other ways if you really don't want to cut them. But decisions do need to be made. Now, the storyboarding. If you don't know what the storyboard is, it's kind of like making a comic. But you don't use speech balloons, unless that's what you're going for and they visually appear in the video. The more information you add to the storyboard, the better, especially if you're meant to give this to someone else to continue the work. You basically just have to illustrate your script. Even if you're an artist, I still advise doing something closer to stick figures to start with, so you can quickly visualize what you're going to do, edit, and move things around without a lot of commitment. You can insert these along your script or do them more like a comic and write beneath each square the moment or dialogue they belong to. I also use arrows of different colors to show character and camera movements, from pans to zooms, and I also add some extra notes on sounds and music mood I wanted for certain parts, even if I already added them to the script, as it helps me review and improve on it. If you want to research a little more about how these are actually supposed to be done, you can easily find storyboards that are shared by artists that work for movies, TV series, and even game cinematics. Now to actually draw. I didn't make my drawings in order. I cannot stress this enough, but it's always good to start with the most important moments first. In fact, before I drew the rest of the art, I actually recorded and voice acted the whole thing and sent everything I had to my very helpful editor so he could start with his own magic. Only then did I continue drawing the rest of the art while getting feedback of things that were missing or, that could be improved. It's a lot of work, but if you're organized and set small goals every day, it can definitely be done. If you have any advice or even any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I didn't speak much about the editing part since it wasn't done by me, but I can definitely answer questions about that too, even if I have to bother my editor about it. I'd be super happy if you checked my lore video out. It took us months to do, but you only need 5 minutes to watch it. I put a lot of love into it, so I hope you enjoy it.